Coming up on this episode, we got a tongue twister for you, fighting through the fearmongering. Because that's pretty much all that's in the world at the minute.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Bro, I wanted to take, I didn't want, life forced me to have, germs. Life forced me to have a break, and I tried to make the most of it. And now, trying to get back up on the freaking proverbial horse, with literally the world freaking bombing each other, everything going freaking tartars up in the air, like... How the hell do you get life back on track when it feels like life could end at any minute? And it is for so many people.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's so rough. I mean, I'm fighting through hay fever, and I thought that was rough, but apparently that wasn't fear-mongering enough. Now I have to get double helping of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, pollen's not the biggest enemy at the minute.
I'm allergic to the news and to trees.
I'm allergic to society, so...
That's right, mate, telling me...
But yeah, bro, it's something that I need to discuss with somebody. So should we go get into this one?
Yeah, boy.
Let's do it. What's going on, beautiful people? This is Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I didn't know we were recording.
There's a light for a reason, brother.
I don't see no light. I see lights everywhere.
Walk into the light, my friend.
I see lights everywhere. What light?
Walk into the light.
Where's the recording light?
Walk into the light. Walk into the light. It's okay. I let you go. Be free, my friend.
Anyhow, at the end of this, you realise you haven't pressed play. I'm going to smash you up.
Bro, it won't be the first. I'm sure I've done full episodes before with no mic.
I will slap you.
I hope it's recording, because now I'm genuinely... I'm not even going to edit out the uncertainty.
I don't remember hearing no beep on that, so...
Bro, now you're making me doubt myself.
I'm just being honest.
The worst thing is, this is so appropriate for what is going on in the world right now. Like,
hello,
genuinely.
Are we on? Yeah, we are.
Bro, so that literally is like the setup of the freaking media right now. They literally just put like it might be coming to your doorstep. There might be freaking national service. What's the word? Is it conscription?
Yep.
That's the one, see? All of these things might be coming to your doorstep, and then you get oh no, what am I going to do? Bro, it's going to be freaking COVID all over again with people stockpiling toilet paper and all of that stuff because they don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But yeah.
Absolutely crazy, man.
So starting with fearmongering, or do you have a did you know for us?
I didn't, I mean, I wasn't really going to do it, did you know, but it ties in quite nicely with fearmongering. But did you know there's over 50 ongoing active, armed combats right now in the world? Some of them are kind of wars, but just say from skirmishes to just we're firing rockets at each other to we're just shooting each other up.
Mm.
There is over 50 armed combat situations going on at the moment in the world. Some of which have been going on for years.
Bro, I forget where exactly. I think it's somewhere on the border of India, but there's a war that's being fought with strictly melee weapons. It's been going on so long.
Probably Kashmir.
India
and Pakistan.
I think so.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the Geneva Academy's website. I don't know who they are, but find it for yourself. Middle East and North Africa, more than 45 armed conflicts. Africa, so from sort of central and down, more than 35 armed conflicts. Asia, 21. Europe, 7. Latin America, 6. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with me, is the fear-mongering is real, but actually, the fear is real. You see what I'm saying? We've got so much going on in the world that we don't know about. That's why I looked that up real quick before we started recording, so I was like, wait a minute. We know of, obviously, the two big ones right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Palestine, and Israel, Iran now, so I guess 3. There's a whole bunch going on in this world that no one knows about because it doesn't get covered.
Yeah, bro, this is the thing, there is always going to be something going on somewhere. My thing with it is always how much of it is political and how much of it is genuinely for the people. Again, I'm far more of a pacifist these days, so I don't think anything good's going to come from a war.
I mean, without really deep diving into what's going on and how and why, I would argue most of it is probably political. I don't think many people choose for the violence. I think most people want to avoid violence.
Bro, this is
Violence
the thing,
never
like,
ends well.
take like all these threats or mentions of national service and everything else. How many people are genuinely willing to go fight for their country these days? And that may be, like, with whatever country you're in.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, I think specifically in the Western world, I think you'd have a lot of uprisings. I just don't think a lot of people want to fight wars they don't believe in.
And this is the thing, like, we're in this kind of age of super sped information, when you can find out, again, you've got AI, so there's always going to be that back end of like, yeah, you've got to kind of back check and make sure you've got the truth of the matter and everything else. But if anything, it just goes to show you how much more complicated it can get. Like, we only have a very small pool of information. If you're looking through histories of countries and everything else, every country that we know by a name now has existed by another name at another point in history.
Yeah.
Like, the whole map that we currently know has been redone multiple times. There are, I forget the actual names of them, but there are different categories and eras of maps that depict the world differently. Parts of the UK depicted as Britannia instead of London, this, that, and everything else. That's probably the only one I've got to like throw off of my head.
Apologies.
But
I mean, if you follow that lineage, the whole world was Pangaea at one point, no?
But this is the thing, bro. Like, so we're fighting over bloody nonsense, and most people understand that. They know they haven't really got a horse in the race. Don't get me wrong. You can always say, like, you've got the imports and exports and countries' borders and all of this other stuff that governments and armies and all of that stuff does protect. But then how much of it is kind of against the people's best interest in that sense? Like,
I think I get countries and peoples have reasonings for what they do. I'm not downplaying that. And it's so much easier to say things about it when you're not involved in it. You know, thankfully, we don't live in any of those countries that are currently having armed conflicts. So it's real easy to sit here and be an armchair analyst.
I don't know, you may be able to correct me, but I'd say, is it not better put that we live in one of the countries where it's not going down, but we're still involved by proxy?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? It's just not on our land. We're fighting not on home turf.
But that's my point, is it's easy to have an opinion when I don't think we have many personnel actively on front line. Like, we've lived through Iraq, Afghanistan. So we know what it's like to be in a country that is actively at war. It's not really pleasant, to be honest with you. I mean, it obviously massively avoided us. No one got called up, really, and stuff like that. But it's easier to be an armchair analyst when the only real involvement you have is by proxy to your government doing what they're doing, even though you haven't signed up to that.
I do really start to wonder, though, and I am going to have to get out my tinfoil hat for this one. But, like, especially in terms of, like, the secrecy of militaries and all of this, and I'm talking about every country, not just our own, or which take whatever country you want, right? They will tell you about a certain proportion of their military, say, career or activities or whatever else. But then some of the stuff, oh no, you can't know that, you can't, national security, this, that, and everything else. But then why is it all of the negative fallout and all of the stuff that you can't help but kind of witness or whatever else, they will kind of explain enough to kind of cleanse the palate in a sense. So, like, not everyone's asking the questions, but they don't truly explain where it all originated from. Like, most conflicts predate most people that are alive at the minute. Like, well, again, that's probably not best said. There are some conflicts that predate for people that are alive now that have just been going on for eons that people don't even know why they actually started. And then there are newer things that have started, but I wonder how much of it is still on kind of like, it started, but it was already on shaky ground. Like, bro, this might actually be something for us to Google. When has the world ever known a time of peace? The whole world. Has there ever been a time that nobody has been at war?
I'm not sure it probably has, especially not the modern world. I'm not sure it would have because most of the 2000s into like 2015 was dominated by Iraq, Afghanistan. 2015 onwards has been dominated by Russia, Ukraine, and then Israel, Gaza has come into that. But then going back through that, you would have had Korean War, Vietnam War, Falklands War, World War Two, World War One.
What Battle of Hastings?
But no, even before that, go back to like 1800s, you would have had Battle of, I think it was Crimea. We worked for a certain company that was formed off the back of that.
There's bro, there's been absolutely tons and tons of conflict in one
always
form
conflict.
or another.
There's always
But
conflict.
this is what I'm saying. But that breeds a kind of thing of like, we've kind of spoke about this like before the pod, where it's like, well, okay, if it starts because of a retaliation, say you attack me, so I attack you back, but now you've got severe casualties or whatever else, or you lose people, so now you've got a grudge, and now you've got a revenge vendetta. So now it's not an eye for an eye, it's friggin' a revenge mission, and it just perpetuates the cycle. So where the hell does it end? Because if we can agree that the majority of the world is populated by general population, i.e. non-military, non-government, friggin' just average Joe people. Just people that want to live their damn lives, raise their kids, build a business, do what, explore the world or whatever. That's what makes up the majority of the world. Yet the world is always at freaking war.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my favourite phrases, and I don't know where it comes from, but an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
No, it's a good one.
It's the definition, no?
Mm.
And that's what's happening. It's mental.
But then it makes me think if this has happened before, and if so, how many times? Because, again, we were talking before the pod about all of the kind of war stuff going on at the minute, and like how people are like living underground. But then you can look back through history, and you've got underground catacombs and things that are immense networks of tunnels, which are like, why? Well, maybe they had a war before. Again, there's a lot of history that we're like, oh, we're the most sophisticated we've ever been. I believe it when I see it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are still things that predate us that we cannot explain. So you cannot convince me that we are the most intelligent that we've ever been.
I just think it would have been the safest place to be. And also, back then, people believed in a lot of things. I mean, we believe in a lot of things now, but they also did too. So you would have had people believing that there was going to be reckonings and all sorts of different things. So it probably would have been the best place to go. If you think there's going to be some kind of rapture, where are you going? Probably going to go underground. Especially if I want to survive it.
Really?
It's one of the hardest places to get to.
Okay, I understand it if you're on about like a rapture in like the biblical sense or whatever else.
In general, though, it's quite hard to get to.
I'm thinking about from a survival standpoint. Shelter, yes, that provides you in abundance. Maybe water if you dig deep enough, but you ain't got no sunlight, so you're not going to be growing things. So you're going to be relying on like animal source products, which means you're going to have to bring them down there. So the whole infrastructure is going to be very, very different opposed to if you went somewhere like a mountainous area that is a bit more difficult terrain, but you've got cover, you've got water that's running, you've got animals roaming about, and you've got the sunlight and everything else. To go underground, to me, that is like DEFCON 5, where it's, do you know what I mean? It is the last resort. We need to go underground. And if you look at those catacombs, they ain't set up for like a weekend. They're set up for years. There's friggin', damn it, my mind's gone blank. Burial chambers. There's cooking chambers. There's places for them to keep animals. There's places for them to have baptisms and everything else. Which that tells you that was for at least it tells me that was for an extended period of time. Not a month, not 6 months, years, decades. People were born down there. People died down there. Is that where we're heading when you've got missiles, what's the damn words? I'm getting too caught up in myself. They're perpetually getting propelled through the sky. This is a tongue twister of an episode. But they're constantly being fired everywhere. Over 50 countries at war around the world.
There's not different. Not 50 countries at war. There's 50 armed conflicts in the world. Some of those are internal. Some of those aren't wars.
Wow. Okay, so this may be a stupid question, but then at what point does something go from a conflict to a war?
I would say something goes from a conflict to a war when it is two countries going at each other, or more than one country going at each other. A conflict could just be like, I don't know, certain countries probably have issues with like police versus gangs, but at large scale. Or like drug cartels.
Yeah, but even that,
internal coup d'etats.
Again,
like
it might just be like kind of wordplay, but they'll say like the drug war or the cartel war.
That's just to get your attention.
Bro, have you ever heard how does it go? There's an old saying where it's like, if you kill one person, you're a murderer. If you kill 5, you're a serial killer. You kill 100, you're a conqueror. You kill 1,000, you're a king.
You're a god.
That's if you kill them all. So again, there's levels to it. So when does it go from, okay, if you have 2 groups of people fighting, what size do the groups have to get before it becomes a war? Or is it about the position of those people? For example, 2 civilians fighting, not a problem. There's not much you can do. Even if it is a personal conflict, there is a risk of war considering what they have at their disposal.
I need to look into it. My guess is that it would be defined either by different countries being involved or death count. Would be my guess. Because when I was looking at another website, they were listing things, but they were listing it based on death count. So those were like the most death counts were definitely wars, and then they started moving down more to conflict.
Interesting. Again, I know it's splitting hairs, and obviously when you've got freaking mortar shells and God knows what else freaking crashing down around you, it's the last question you're going to ask.
But there's also a massive difference between 100 people dying in 1 year in a conflict and 10,000 dying in a war.
In a weekend.
There's a very big difference. You know what I mean? There's a difference between rival factions shooting at each other and rival countries blasting 1,000 missiles overnight. Because there are some countries that have that capability. Well, it's been well said over the last couple of days. There are specifically one big old country probably has that capability to fire about 5,000 plus rockets overnight. Think of the absolute carnage that would cause. Tens of thousands of rockets in a night, like you're talking a 6-hour window of nighttime. Mate.
This is the thing though, like, what would happen when all is said and done? Again, like you said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Okay, cool. Let's play out all of these. For God's sake, we've got AI. Let AI play it out. Just say, cool, these countries are at war. These are the stakes. This is what each country has in the battle. Who's going to win? Do you know how many lives you could save in the freaking process just by freaking doing a bloody AI search? Again, not going to be a perfect system, but I damn promise you it'd save a lot more lives than freaking actually having the conflict.
I mean, I think the big question is, how do you actually just keep yourself sane when all this is going on?
I don't know, because I'm struggling with that, bro. And that's why I'm, like, this episode is about, like, the fear-mongering that. Because when you're kind of in that time of uncertainty, you don't want to plan for the future. You don't want to plan a family. You don't want to mortgage your house. You don't want to make no long-term commitments and everything else. You're just like, what do I do? So then most people distract themselves. They bury themselves in a series, in films, in a game, in a book, whatever. Down the pub. They'll distract themselves because they don't know what else to do. Because it's uncertain. So all you do is try to get by. You take it one day at a time. But life lasts longer than that. So you have to kind of... Again, it's the kaleidoscope of life that we always talk about. You have to look forward and back and past itself and everything else, because you're gonna hit tomorrow, and if you make it through tomorrow, there's going to be a day after that which you need to think about. So if you only think about getting to tomorrow and don't think about the day after that, what happens when that comes?
This is how I deal with it. It's a bit of a hot take, but I can't do anything about those wars or conflicts. I can't change it, right? But I'm very fortunate that I live in a place where I am not in a combat zone. So I'm not being shot at. I'm not being hit with mortar shells. I'm not being told to stay in place or bunker down or whatever. So I can still keep moving. So, don't get me wrong, I played this out in my head. My head says this, like, everyone, you know when you say, like, oh, how bad could it get? Well, what's the worst that could happen? Right? Play it out. What's the worst case scenario for the world?
Nukes.
Mutually assured destruction. It's a well-documented thing. It is a policy. You fire nukes, we fire nukes. We fire nukes, they fire nukes. So everyone's done for anyways. You're all toast. We're all shadows on the wall like Pompeii. just 2025 version, and it's not as romantic. You know what I
Just
mean?
a civilization of silhouettes.
Yeah, but it's not as romantic. It wasn't because, oh my god, unprecedented volcano. It's because we decided to do that.
Mm.
But it's not going to get there, I don't think. I think people will realize that they actually want to live before it becomes that big of a problem. And that's the problem I have with this situation, though, right? Is I understand why it could be so overwhelming, especially if you're like quite in tune with like current affairs and the politics of it all. Because you realize a lot of the countries that have problems have allies. And allies feel compelled to jump into things without thinking about it. Because if you don't, well then you've broken the allegiance. But if you do, you've still got problems. So they're probably just going to jump in anyways. So then it becomes World War III.
I don't know, right? Because one sec, let's just play that out as a scenario. Again, like, play it all the way down to me and you, right? So now, if we're allies, we're friends, we're bros, we're out on a night out, and you've started a conflict with somebody where you're in the wrong, even though I'm your friend and ally, is it going to be best for me to jump on your bandwagon and start battering said person, or go, yo, you was in the wrong, and have an awkward conversation with you and calm you down and dissolve the problem, opposed to friggin' escalating?
But you're talking at a very rational level.
Yes, but when you zoom back up to the heads of countries and everything else, that's where you need to be rational.
But it weirdly gets more irrational. Because it becomes less about who's wrong or right and more about, I have vested interests. And you're bombing them. I don't like this. And then all of a sudden you have what was in World War II. One side, second side. But the difference is this time it's not going to be fought on muddy fields with Tommy guns and what were essentially hard hats. It's going to be fought with intercontinental ballistic missiles and drones.
But
drone warfare is already advancing, bro. There is a war going on right now where they are using $1,000 drones and causing significant damage.
I don't know.
More like $10,000, but still, on the grand scale, for a death machine, costs you less than a mortgage. You see what I'm saying? A death machine, bro.
I don't
A
know.
drone that will kill a bunch of people. 10 grand. 10 to 20 grand. That blows my mind.
I mean, there's a lot easier ways to do it than that, to be fair.
It don't get much easier than that.
Yes, it does.
How could it possibly get much easier than just, I'm nowhere near that zone?
You send that drone to infrastructure opposed to a place.
But that's what they're doing.
So, like, I forgot what I was going to say now. What was you saying about the, you can basically pay for a drone or whatever else? Oh, I've completely...
I'm saying that wars will be fought very differently.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't know where I heard it, but it's always stuck with me that whatever technology the public have, the military are probably about 40 years more advanced. So,
Some.
Bro, 40 years ago, we didn't have iPhones. We didn't have all of this stuff that we have now.
No, my point is some militaries.
Regardless.
Not many of them.
Doesn't matter.
Some of them are 4 years behind.
Brother, we are in one of the first world countries that are going to be on the higher end of that timescale. Even if you say 20 years more advanced than where we are publicly now with AI, drones, freaking armored Teslas driving around the freaking streets and all of that, like 20 to 30 years more advanced than that being modest, what the hell are we looking at? Because back in the 2000s, you couldn't even imagine where we are now. You imagined a completely different road. Friggin' look at the Back to Future movies where they was like, oh, they're going to have self-lacing up shoes and hoverboards. We don't have hoverboards and everything else, but we've got global conflicts and electric cars. Like, seriously?
Yeah, I don't like this still. I want to change. Can we go back in time and change it? It's rubbish.
I mean, getting on the topic of time travel would be a hell of an episode.
God, what a terrible end to the deal. EVs and conflict.
Oh, and we're all going to be eating bugs.
Oh, that's been known for quite some time.
But bro, I see something about that the other day that was actually talking about how much they're going to reduce the rations of food. And bro, again, it makes me want to just retreat into the woods. Like, when they talk about, like, how much actual, like, meat or animal products what was it? 1 egg a week, they was predicting that is going to be the kind of benchmark for people. 1 egg a week. It was, I think, about 3/4 of a fish finger you was allowed, and that was the most. The size of a beef burger would reduce by 90% than what it is currently.
I would say with things like this, you need to use a bit of rationale, a bit of logic, because I don't believe things like that unless you're going to give me some real good science.
I hear you, but this conspiracy side of me looks at real world applications, right? So look what happened when the sugar tax came in.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, instantly, right? Because you can look at the packaging, the sizes of things shrunk. So in order to get the same product on the shelves around the same price, they shrunk the size of the product.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They shrunk the serving size.
That's what I'm on about.
No. So they didn't change the size of the product. They changed the amount they recommend you to have. There's a vast difference.
No.
There is a vast difference. Bro.
Genuinely, if you look at the net weight inside the packet of whatever you're buying, they've reduced it. And they've done it not just to food things. Trust me, bro.
I don't believe that with drinks. Food, I'll give you. Some food is definitely shrinking.
I'm talking...
But I would argue more of the food stuff that's shrinking isn't the stuff that was being sugar taxed. That's my problem with it.
I could literally name drop chocolate bars and quote the sizes that they've shrunk by.
And I hear you, but it's the other food stuff that's shrinking that isn't sugar taxed that is still a problem on that. That started happening in general. There's no correlation to the sugar tax for that.
What do you mean?
Shrinkflation is a real thing. You know this based on real life application.
Yeah.
It's not just products full of sugar that would be liable to be taxed that are shrinking.
No.
It's across the board.
But what I'm saying is, there is an example that is blindly apparent. Take how much friggin' the price of anything with sugar in it has gone up in the past freaking few years. Take the renowned Freddo, for example. Gone from 5p when we was kids to now 30p.
Inflation.
Right.
We have
600%.
Since we first started consuming said Freddo, we have probably aged 25 years.
Yes.
Okay, when we were born, if you asked what a pound was worth 25 years ago, it would have been lower. That happened.
Yeah, that's standardized inflation.
Correct.
But when you're talking about what you're actually getting in return for that item, gets into the shrinkflation that you're talking about. What I'm saying is they inflate on the front end and then they're shrinking on the back end.
Yeah, but I was saying that has no direct correlation to the sugar tax. That's where I think you're wrong. Everything is being hit by that, not just things full of sugar. You probably get less butter than you used to for more, and it costs you more now. You probably get less bread than you used to get before now, but pay more for it. Like, it's across the board.
Again, there is sugar in both of those things.
And they're not liable to be sugar tax.
I'm not saying it's all going to be friggin' sugar tax or whatever else. Again, I'm not saying sugar tax is responsible for everything.
But you did originally.
No, I'm saying it is a massive thing where you can see how it instantly is affected in life, the change in sizes of portions. That in front of your eyes, you can get a chocolate bar from this year and a chocolate bar from 2 years ago, and they will be from the same brand, same chocolate bar, different serving size inside the packet.
And here's the controversial take from me. That's a good thing. That's a goddamn good thing. We need less of that crap in the world.
It would be if it wasn't still pushed at you in the same way.
Then that's on you for buying the advertising. And I put my hands up to that myself, man. I go eat things like that if I want to go eat things like that because I'm a fully grown adult.
But when I go down this vein, right, one sec. When I go down this vein, I ask myself, when was the last time you see an advert for a cucumber, for a carrot?
They never get advertised, bro. It's as simple as
Why?
Because they don't lobby the same way.
They advertising don't need to be pushed at you.
Well, in this world, apparently things do because people refuse to just disengage from shit. And I'm tired of it. This is how you beat the fucking, whatever the hell we were even talking about. What's the word? Doom-mongering. Fear-mongering. Fuck it. Fuck it. Just go live. I've had enough of this shit. Like, I'm snapped. I've had enough of this shit. Unless you are one of those unfortunate people who live in an active war zone where There is no fear-mongering. It is just fucking fear because you see the damn missiles and the blood. The rest of us, get on with your shit. I've had enough of this. Get on with your fucking shit. And I'm swearing like a goddamn motherfucker now, but I don't care. Just get on with your shit and stop fucking listening. Disconnect. And just fucking keep going.
Right, too many now. I don't know how many bleeps I'm gonna have. That's gonna get annoying.
Yeah, but it's pissed me off. And I'm passionate about this, bro. The world is a mess. Yes, it is a big, gigantic ball of mess. But what are you gonna do? Are you going to sit here and overthink it to the point that you're paralyzed by fear that's not even on your doorstep? Or are you just going to go and just keep pushing through? Are you going to go and flip the middle finger to these big corporations that are pumping you full of choice? You always have a choice. There is always a way. And don't tell me I'm wrong on this, because you know there is always a choice. You know there is always a way.
You're not wrong, but in your frustration, you're definitely oversimplifying the case, brother.
Of course I'm oversimplifying.
Because there are literally teams of people designed for product placement, for advertising, to design the packaging, to design all of the stuff. There are more people set out to convince you to buy something that is to your detriment than there is to something of your benefit, right?
I know that.
So again, I'm not scapegoating or whatever else. Look, it could be a hard freaking battle. Hey, turn off the TV. You won't see the adverts. But then guess what? They'll creep in somewhere else. So it's forever chasing its freaking tail and everything else. Yeah. But again, because it's kind of like the freaking thing of like the weakest link fails. So the weakest links in society and everything else, they keep these companies going. And the more these companies keep going, well, they get some of the smartest people to make them more profit, and they want to find their thing, make it more irresistible or more tempting, or make it more popular. Like, bro, supermarkets freaking play mind games with people.
Of course they do.
With the freaking hype that things are on shelves.
Oh, bro, that's gone on for eons. Pumping the bakery smell through the shop, so as soon as you walk in, you start smelling bread, and you go, "Oh, I want something from the bakery," knowing that you're going to get bread and something else. Like, I know this stuff, and I know I'm oversimplifying it. But what other choice do you have other than oversimplifying it? Because the big corporations and the world isn't going to stop doing this stuff until enough people just say, no, I'm not buying that shrinkflated chocolate bar that I have to pay 30 times more than I used to for 40% less. But actually, I am going to go and buy some stuff, and I'm going to bake some stuff at home because I've had enough of this nonsense. Surely that's the only way the world starts to change, is when enough people on a global level say, bollocks to it. I've had enough. Specifically Western world, where choice is a lot easier to do. No disrespect to the other side of the world. Some of you are very much democracies, and you have a choice, but some countries aren't. I get this, but that's my point, right? Places where you are a first world country and have a lot more choices to make in terms of how you move and how you do things, why are we not doing it?
It's going to sound nuts, right? But I think there's two major things. One is going to be that we're kind of deconditioned to doing a lot of these things, and the other is going to be access. So in terms of the first one, bro, how many people in our age bracket don't know how to cook a week's worth of different meals?
Easily fixed, people just don't want to. Next.
100%. Bro, all of these things...
I'm not being flippant, by the way. I want to rattle through them because I know we're going to be like running out of time, and I want you to get your points across so that I can argue back and say that it's nonsense.
Bro, it's literally just going to be two major things, right? One, people don't know how, and that is going to be, again, it's not a valid excuse, but it is going to be their excuse. The other thing is going to be access. So that a lot of the things that we are privy to, that we are accustomed to and everything else, they're not homegrown. Take cocoa bean, for example, as we're talking about chocolate. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get UK-grown cocoa bean.
No, of course not.
Right. So to work with that, you have to outsource. Again, you've got the unfamiliarity of it, On a individual basis, that ain't going to work. Can you grow some tomatoes? Yeah, sure. Can you grow a lettuce or whatever else? Yeah. There are things in your wheelhouse. But because of the type of world that we live in, because of the diversity of it, bro, even if you want some spice from your food, what spices do we grow here? So when we're looking at the actual agriculture and how most of our kind of way of life is, we're accustomed to everybody else's way of life in little fragments and segments and everything else. Like, bro, that is probably going to be a controversial thing to say, but does the English genuinely have any culture left anymore that is purebred English, or is it bits and pieces borrowed from everybody else over the years?
But what is English culture?
This is what I'm asking.
No, but what was it? Because
Bro, at most, my mind will go like, oh, Sunday roast, fish and chips, but potatoes ain't English. Forget.
Potatoes are English.
No, they're not.
What do you mean they're not English?
They was first grown in China and then imported to England.
Yeah, but we grow them here as well.
Yes, but again, if we're talking about it's not our food, it's an import.
Yeah, but fair enough. Okay.
So, like, again, all of these things that we build our brand, our culture around and everything else, they ain't inherently ours. We borrow all from around the world. So again, dial it all the way back to freaking when you were saying about Pangea. It's all same shit, different name. Do you know, like, none of this world is anybody's. Whether it be Israel, England, United States, or whatever else, it doesn't belong to anybody. I don't care who your head of state is. I don't care who your king, your queen, your uncle, your cousin is, or whatever else. It's just freaking land. It's going to be here freaking after you. It was here before you. Somebody's going to know it by something else, and freaking somebody else is going to live on there one day. Or maybe freaking nobody. Maybe an alien. Maybe a freaking antelope. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, life just moves. But the constant perpetuating fear-mongering that is just propelled at people, that makes them freaking freeze. And like you said, the best thing you can do is say fuck it and freaking push through it.
Literally, disconnect from it, man.
The only other thing on that is I will always say, and this is one thing that I learned and I'm kind of repurposing from an old friend of mine, which is the mentality of always having 4 months' wages put back. Which is, by all means, have that mindset once you've got a cushion to fall back on. Like, if you ain't got water in case the friggin' water supply kicks off or whatever else, like, yeah. Like, have some kind of stockpiles, Don't be on bare minimum going, oh yeah, balls to the wall. Do you know what I mean? Because then, if it does kick off, you're screwed. Mm-hmm. So always give yourself some kind of safety net, some kind of cushion, some kind of friggin' backup plan. But yeah, other than that, you can't surrender to the fear-mongering because there's always going to be something to be afraid of. When you're looking at the whole world, if you wanted to find somebody that had a bad day, you could go through people on the street and go, have you had a good day? You can keep asking people until you find somebody. You'll probably get through less than 10 people. If you wanted to find a millionaire, you could do the same thing. You'd probably get through 100 or so people, maybe 1,000 people before you find a millionaire. If you wanted to do somebody that was directly affected by one of these wars, you could do the exact same thing in that game. All of these people are out there. Like, what is it, 6-7 degrees of separation? Most people are going to come in contact with one another in some form or another throughout their lifetime. Like, the world is a big place, but it's also not that big. We're not here for that long. And look at what the hell we're doing to it while we're here. Bloody idiots. And we think we're the smartest species on this planet.
No, we're not.
God help, I hope there's freaking ETs out there.
Believe.
Like, bro, imagine that is the actual truth of it. Like, dolphins or some kind of aquatic mammal is the friggin' actually the dominant species on this planet.
They just let us run around.
Yeah. We're the proverbial pets, and they're just like, oh, look at them. Oh, they're cute up there, aren't they?
They just see a missile, they're just like, oh, yeah, they're up to it again, are they? Yeah, still the smartest.
What do you reckon a shark thinks when he comes across a human doing like paddleboarding in the middle of the ocean or something?
That always makes me laugh because we're going like, oh my god, the shark wants to eat us, and the shark's probably just like, oh.
Yeah, but
the shark sees us and goes, preservatives.
How could the shark have an appetite for human? Like, how many does he come across?
That shark's just like, ooh, fake tan and collagen, yum.
Oh, damn, he's been to Essex.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah, mate, see you later.
If I ever see a shark in Essex, I'm done the other way.
Imagine that shark's like, oh, mate.
All freaking Essex smile going on, like, freaking.
Right, mate.
Bloody fin smeared over with a freaking hefty ton of wax.
Through the bay in Southend, just full of Class A's, bless it.
But bro, this is the thing. Like, I think, like we've kind of said throughout this episode, is like, no matter what year you look at, there is going to be some type of conflict, some type of bad thing to say, something to be worried about that you could be like, next year's uncertain. Don't get me wrong, it varies. Sometimes next year is more uncertain than other years, but on the grand scheme, there is always going to be something you can freaking be afraid of. For God's sake, you could be afraid that you're going to slip, fall in the shower and break your head. So what, you're never going to have a shower or whatever? Like, sometimes you've just got to push forward in life. And I think that is the best thing to do in times like this, is focus where you actually do believe in, where you think that your time is well spent, whether it be building businesses, helping friends and family, raising a family, or whatever it is. Like, just don't give in to the freaking fear-mongering.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. I gotta go buy a gold bar.
Oh, sweet Jesus. If you're that kind of money, take me somewhere. Be my sugar daddy.
Alright, just getting ready for the rapture, innit?
Bro, you can't buy your way in. I know what you've done.
I can buy my way out.
Oh, damn. That's right. My phone's waiting for me. It's going to be toasty. Right. The seed for this episode is going to be, look, there's always going to be bad out there in the world. It's a big place. There's 8 billion bloody people, plus a bunch of fish and God knows what else. So there's always going to be something going extinct, something bad happening, something good happening, whatever else. There's always going to be stuff going on in the world. Choose what you focus on. You can focus on the good, maybe not as easily, but you can focus on the good. It takes a lot more looking for, I'm not going to lie. They make it harder. There's a reason that the friggin' healthy food section in the supermarket is the smallest section in there. They ain't going to make living long easy for you. Whether that be your mental health, your physical health. It ain't easy to be healthy and keep a decent kind of diet of... Oh, damn it, what's the word? A decent diet of anything, I guess. Information, food. I've lost the proper word, so I'm just going to throw in everything at it now, including the kitchen sink. But yeah, like, there is so much to life. Don't get overwhelmed by one aspect. There's more to it. All the best. We'll catch you on the next one.